Hello, everybody. How you doing on this lovely Tuesday? Unfortunately, we got some bad weather, but that's not going to stop us from giving the new good news, Because even though it rains, there's still sunshine. At the end, you just got to take the ride like a roller coaster. Scared to get on in the beginning, then exciting all the way through. And then when it's over, I got to go back. I got to go back. But before you do you care about your self-care? Yeah! All right, so we're going to keep it brief and real because this episode is about the cowardice of certainty. And I heard a few people like, what do you mean, the cowardice of certainty? What is the cowardice of certainty? The cowardice of certainty, right? Like, you could be certain about certain things, but even though you're certain about it, you might feel afraid about what it is that you feel certain. Like you could feel certain about the truth and afraid to hear it or tell it. You feel what I'm saying? Or you can be confident about going to talk to that girl, but then when a moment arises, you cowered out. You know what I'm saying? Or you going to get that job, and if you're very assured of yourself, you're qualified for it, but you just didn't get up because you was afraid that you was going to be told you don't got the job or that you're not qualified. So don't be afraid about the certainty of what you know for yourself. You're already, when much is given, much is required. You are already the winner. You just got to dig it out. And that was last week's episode, but it still resides in everything that you do as you move forward in life with every obstacle that comes, or even when you're in a standstill in life. Sometimes you need to be still because peace comes within that stillness. And growth even happens in that stillness, like for a mustard seed in the ground. If it's taken out of the ground, how did you see it flourish? If you didn't leave it there and give it time, it have to be still. So you have to have confidence in your certainty. You know what I'm saying, people? Even me, I have my moments too. But let's read the quote for today's episode of The Cowardice of Certainty. The quote says, "The problem with the world is that intelligent people," I could be talking to you, "are fools of doubts, while foolish people," I could be still talking to you, "ones are full of confidence." How? How is the intelligent person filled with doubt and the fool full of confidence? About to tell you. And this was a quote by Charles Bukowski. Now, the thing about being intelligent is you could be so smart that you play yourself stupid. You could be so stupid you play it off like you're smart. So it's about knowing to just do and not always think. Although sometimes you have to give thought to the things that need it. And there are times where it's like, what are you thinking for? Go. The door is open. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the door is open, are you going to be like, if I go through that door, something's going to happen? There's no walls to the other side. The door is just right there on its own. And you can see on the other side, the door is open. And you can see to your left, see to your right. And everything that's to your left is on the... I'm just saying, it's the uncertainty for some people, because you could be so smart that you're like myself, your brain will overdevelop and create situations that don't exist. Versus a person who don't think a lot and all they see is to just do. I have to make something happen. And regardless to what everyone else is saying or everyone else is doing, I know what needs to be done for me. So even though they may say I'm foolish for riding my motorcycle at 93 miles an hour, there was some therapy right there for me. There was a moment I'm alive. I felt the whole world get thrown back and I'm just thrown forward, flying like Superman. You know what I'm saying? That freedom. But to other people, they'll be like, man, you ain't got no seatbelt. All you got is a helmet, some knee pads, elbow pads, wrist pads, and then one margin of error, pancake. You know, that's their fear. You see, me on a bike enjoying my therapy. People saying, "Nah, I'd rather just go to therapy." You know, it's what are you gonna choose for your security, for your confidence versus your cowardice? So we're gonna jump into the first question and then go right into the audience. For everyone watching as well, what are you so afraid of being wrong about? Audience, I'm paying it out to everyone. Oh, before we also do jump into the audience, I would like to also add that we have new members in the house. We have new people here. Pretty soon you're also gonna see our new host in the making, and as well as even see the rest of the crew members as they move up in the building and rectify themselves. And I'm not going to try to jump too much into the podcast topic, but they're going to rectify themselves as they go forward here in Tier 1 and show their acolytes, show their, well, basically I just said it, but they're going to just show the person or be revealed as the person that they've always needed to be for themselves. And one of them is my niece. So I'm very happy and stoked because I just want to add, I was afraid to bring family here. Then one day I brought my older sister, which is her mother, and then she enjoyed her visit here, progressed. Then I brought my other sister. Then I brought my brother. Now I'm bringing my niece. And I'm saying this because when you start to see something is working for you, it's nothing wrong with trying to help others with that something. But if they don't want it, don't force it on them. Just give them the option to come. So I'm going to go back to the question and throw it back into the audience. To the audience and viewers, what are you so afraid of being wrong about? Got a hand.
Honestly, I'm afraid of being wrong about everything.
Everything.
Yeah. And as far as like anything that I do, you know what I mean? Like there's something that happened today when I was out on harm reduction, and I explained it in the Tier 1 group, and I don't know if I was right for what I did or if I was wrong, because it could have ended any kind of way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I felt like I was right because I was protecting a participant. When somebody that claims that he was security guard was disrespecting him, talking about putting hands on him, being violent with him. So I stepped in the middle. I don't know what
That was courageous.
You know, I don't know what was on the security guard's mind. What if he pulled out a weapon? Whether it was a gun, a knife, whatever. He had 2 cans of pepper spray on him, you know what I'm saying? But I still did it because of the fact I was in that participant's position at one point, you know? And when he called the participant a dolphin, I said, I am one too. Which I am, but I got 6 months clean. But at the end of the day, I was still a dolphin at one point, you know? So, again, I'm afraid of being wrong about everything or anything. You know, like I don't want to be right about everything because that's not who I am. I will take fault for things that I'm wrong about, but things like in that nature, what I just explained, like I don't know if I was wrong for doing that, if I was right. So that's what I'm afraid of.
And I want to say before we go to the next person, being that we're on that topic, and I didn't expect you to say that was one, but I'm glad that you did. And I'm gonna say like I was say a little extra because I didn't have the time to say extra then because we was in group. Bro, that was courageous, number one, and that security guard, he was a coward. because he chose a person who could not, one, be able to afford housing for themselves, a person who actually needs mental, spiritual, and leadership, and most importantly, help with their situation. And that individual, I would say his name. I would say things that I know about him because you told me who it was by description. I instantly knew who it was. And I just want to say for that individual, because he watches podcasts, I know his patterns and I know the things that he used to do prior before he was the person he was. He himself has no right to be calling somebody a name. And if he doesn't want his business out there in the streets, which I can put out there, but I will not, because of the person I became today, like you yourself. You know where you came from. And that is the most important thing about being a human being. Knowing where we came from and where we are at and where we are going. Those three things are very important. Because at any given moment, a person can lose themselves and revert. Because you stood up for the forefront of the person that you're becoming. Because you saw someone from where you used to be. And you stood in the forefront for him, her, whoever it was. And that man had to recheck himself because he wasn't ready for that. And he's not really the type to fight. And I'm going to just say that honestly, he's not a fighter. Anybody can beat him. Anybody. And he can say what he wants. I'll get somebody to braid his hair because he got long hair. I know. But that's that. I'm not saying that out of vain or malice. It's just out of the simple fact of security of me letting society know I can revert back too, but I will revert back for the security. The camera. I will revert back for the security and safety of others. And I'm gonna stop there and let somebody else talk. Anyone else? But thank you, because that was. And to let you know, ain't nothing wrong with what you said, because who wants to always be right? Anyone else on the question?
I got a question.
Who said that?
No, I can't. Well, I want to answer the question.
Okay. I'm sorry.
What's your name?
Josh.
How you doing, John?
So, what I've been going through recently, like, I'm afraid of like investing in myself. Mm-hmm. You know, being clean is hard. So I've been playing it safe. You know, I don't want to let myself down. And like recently, what I've been going through, I'm choosing a job over, you know, investing in my internship, investing in school and stuff like that. So that sounds crazy, but I'm choosing money
You don't sound crazy, bro.
over something that I know I want for the long term, because I don't want to work in no grocery store for the rest of my life. I don't want no job like that. I'm just taking it because it's safe. So that's what I'm afraid of.
Thank you for sharing that. And I want to say, for starters, that I restarted my life 7 times. 7 times I restarted. And I may not look my age, but I'm turning 36 next month. And I literally restarted 7 times. And the last time I restarted was after being arrested in 2018. And that was the icing for me. And I just want to say, ain't nothing wrong with restarting. Ain't nothing wrong with starting from the ground up. Because even then, I was like, so how am I going to figure out going back to the studio recording my music? How am I going to have time to, because I was hustling and I had a job. I kept the job. That was how I covered, I'm not afraid to say it, but that's how I covered my money trial. I always kept my money in the bank. I never believed in keeping it in a mattress, never believed in keeping it at some girl house. I never believed in anything that I made to go somewhere that it does not belong, except for in a bank where I can see it and they can see it. But as long as I had a job, they can't say nothing. But in the end of the day, I did have them same fears because as a man growing up in this environment with gifts, I'm pretty sure you have them, and nobody's investing. It's draining, especially when you have to do it. And you have to make sure your clothes are washed, your rent is paid, your phone is active, your insurance for your my motorcycle and my car is paid. All of these things is paid to a point where when the month is going through, I have nothing. But my bills are paid. I can sleep in my room and turn my lights on because my PSE&G is paid. And it's tough, but it's doable. It really is. Because you have to make these sacrifices. Ain't nothing wrong with making sacrifices as long as you make a sacrifice that goes towards the thing that you truly desire. You. That's what you're investing in when you make sacrifices. Just set those sacrifices in order that bring you right back to the thing that's going to elevate you, not de-elevate, elevate you to where you want to go, to where when that time comes where it's like, dang, you know, the month just started. It ain't the first of the month no more, but like it's 5 days after the first of the month. And you're like, my bill's paid. I got $2,000 in the bank. Instead of go to the studio, let me build my own studio. That's investing right there. That's investing. It's doable. It's just, you have to go through the testimony, which you tell after going through the fire. You got to go through that pain sometimes. And it's all right, because like I said, I restarted how many times? All right. So take it from me, bro. You are in the right direction. Nothing you're doing is wrong as long as you're not thinking wrong. If you're thinking wrong, then it's going to be wrong. Everything's going to feel wrong. It's going to be off. But you're in the right space, in the right place. Thank you. I'll take one more before I move on, if there is. We got one right there.
What are you so afraid of being wrong about? Every day I get up, I'm so grateful. I can identify what you're talking about, working one place, and you know I want to be doing that. I want to be doing that. But I just want to tell you, keep the faith. You know, you're gonna be all right. God got you. Don't give up. It's a day at a time process. We're gonna be all right. But I just want to say, like, you know, I pray every day and just pray that God's will be done in my life, because I don't want to be doing something and like, dang, I was supposed to be doing something else. That's why I pray that God's will be done in my life and that He use me to for His glory. You know what I'm saying? To make a difference in the lives of others. But again, I just be praying like, God, I just want to be wherever it is you want me to be. But again, that's something I don't want to be wrong about, doing something when, dang, I supposed to be doing something else. But again, like I say, I always just pray that God's will be done and He give me the strength and the courage to do what it is that I need to do, to give back what was so freely given to me.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right, as you see audience out there on our YouTube, Facebook. Oh, we have another.
She waiting.
Hey.
Thank you. I just want to say I can relate to what you said, Josh, because I'm a self-sabotager. So when I get to my greatness, I get in the way. Like I had that fear that I'm gonna be great. I had the fear that I'm gonna be great. Do you understand where I'm going with this?
Yes, I do.
I had the fear I'm gonna do so good, and I don't know what happens. The fear kicks in, and then I do everything. You know, I bow out. You know, I'm just bow out, and that hurted me in my careers that I had when I was younger, coming up. You know what I mean? Which led me to use drugs, and so because I was ashamed. You know, like because I know I could do better, but I didn't do better. You know what I mean? I know better and didn't do better. You know what I mean? So what I do now, and I'm here at Tier 1, and it's not a whole lot of money, and that's not really what I was looking for when I first came here. Because when he asked me, what do you expect me to give you? And I said, look, I don't even know what it is to work now, what minimum wage, because I didn't. You know, I never asked. I was just talking about getting clean. You know what I mean? So I said, I'll take whatever it is I need to, you know, so I can get better. You know what I mean? And that's why I got hired, because you wasn't hiring the time that I came here. You know what I mean? So, like, that question is a powerful question, and it's like really no wrong answers. It's how you how you see it when you look at the question and answer it. That's what I got. But you're gonna do good, job. Just keep your head up. You know what I mean? And me too. I've been where you was at. Me too. And I'm doing great right now, so you can do great too.
I like what Rochelle said, like, because it reminded me of something my mother said, like, to know better is to do better. And when you know something, sometimes, where like it says, the cowardice of certainty. You're certain about what you know. And sometimes the failure, I'm going to get to the next question. Sometimes with failure, it only happens because even though we are certain with what we know, the certainty of how to get it, we may not know. Just like having representations of what we need in the environments as far as in the hood. Not that we don't have powerful black men here, but where are they? Why aren't they standing outside? Why aren't they directing and instructing? You know what I'm saying? Not saying, like I said, not saying they don't exist. It's just, as a young man growing up, I had to change my thought patterns as I got older, like close to my 20s. I had to start visualizing myself as what I did not see, what I did not receive growing up, what was not there. I had to turn myself into, I had to visualize. That's why I said earlier, I see myself as a pharaoh. And in order for me to be that pharaoh, I have to follow a narrow path.
I like that easy. Narrow.
We got a hand over there.
So the question is, what are you afraid of being wrong about?
Yes. Marcus.
Man, that's a broad question.
Everything.
You know, just to be a little bit more specific is that sometimes we jump to conclusions. And we make decisions before we get all the information. So, you know, and then when you get all the information, you see that you made a bad decision. So, you know, and especially if you one of the people that live your life of being right. You know, there's an old saying, sometimes you pay a high price for being right. You know?
Come on, boss.
That's why sometimes I'd rather be wrong.
And the key to that is that, you know, we talk about, and I was saying it in the meeting yesterday, the difference of a weapon and a tool. And then sometimes people weaponize tools.
Yes.
And sometimes when you write about something, you slam it down somebody's face, and then that's where you pay that high price of being wrong. It's because, you know, you boasting about you was right. You know what I'm saying? The other thing is that, you know, my belief system. You know, we all, and a lot of times we don't want to admit that sometimes we have a faulty belief system.
You can say that again.
And you know, the things is that a lot of times our belief systems get passed down to us because of the environment that we live in. And then as we grow older, we realize that we was misinformed.
Go ahead, Bob.
So those are the things that the fear comes in. That all my life I was told a lie.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And it's almost to wake up and say, who am I? Because I got so much misinformed information. You know, but when you realize that, you know, wow, I've been wrong my whole life, and I've been judging people based on the concepts of other people that was passed down, you know, and it's on both sides of the fence. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is that sometimes we young and dumb, And as we get older, we don't mature, so we be old and dumb. You know what I'm saying? On both sides of the fence. That's it.
Good stuff,
Young and dumb and full of cum.
Shucky Ducky.
But as you hear, audience and viewers, like, there's some juice right here that we can gain from one another, and you wanna know what that's called? Culture. Each and every single one of us have been through something. We're all different age groups, but we can all come to one commonality. The thing that we all desire, and that's growth, love, hope, truth, security. And right here in Tier 1, you will find that. And you will realize you had it the whole time, because it takes for someone, like I said earlier, to have gone through the fire so you know what a testimony is. So to our second question. I think I'm going to answer this one first for y'all. But, to our second question. When was the last time you admitted you didn't have the answer? The answer. Was that the...
Yes.
I guess he answered it.
And we already have the go. When this is over, this is over.
Yeah, we're going to go at this. When I didn't have the answer, there was a few times that I went through where I didn't have the answer. And I regretted even trying to say I knew afterwards, but I had to humble myself in being wrong. I literally had to just be like, you know what? This too shall pass, but I have to still go through this pain of being wrong. And nothing was, later on, I realized nothing was wrong with being wrong in life. Which is why I said earlier, I would rather be wrong, because I learned that being wrong can teach you to be right. Not saying you have to do wrong to be right, because you know that doing something wrong is just wrong. Okay? So it's different if you believe that you had the right answer, or you had the right suggestions for someone to do something, or even for yourself to, you know what, I'm gonna go do that, and then find out you should have never did that. Those are situations I'm talking about. You might have to bump your head, or realize that I shouldn't have argued with my boss, or I shouldn't have argued with my mom or dad or grandpa, grandma. I should have just shut my mouth and listened to what they was spitting, so that I don't be slipping. So to anyone else, when was the last time you admitted you didn't have the answers? I think I got Bobby right there.
I like that question because it got a double whammy to it. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is that, you know, they said repeating the same thing, getting the same result is insanity, right? Mm-hmm. So as we grow, we get into new things where we don't have the answers to the new things that we get into. And it's okay, because that means we're growing. When you can admit that you don't know the answer, you just open the door, you know what I'm saying, for growth and learning. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think the hardest thing sometimes is when we always want to know the answers, but when we can admit that, hey, I don't have an answer to that, I just open the door to be helped. Mm-hmm. And when I pretend like I know something that I don't know, I usually mess up. Uh-huh. You know, so I like that question in a positive sense. You know what I'm saying? Being able to admit that, hey, I'm growing, and because I'm in new environments, and because I'm at another level, no, I've never been here before. Yeah. So I don't have the answers to a lot of stuff at this level. So we should look to not having the answers to new stuff that we going, instead of doing the same old thing. You know what I'm saying? And still doing it wrong.
I'll take one more before we move on to the final question.
I can admit when I don't have the answer. But usually, the only answers that I answer is life experience. You know, things that I've been through, I can't answer somebody. You know, or I can do my best to help somebody with. I used to be a very ignorant, angry, self-righteous person. You know, just didn't care.
You used to be? With the way you dance and be acting on joyful.
No, I'm saying as far as like, I used to not care. I mean, now I love dancing. You couldn't catch me dancing. That's another shit. You know, like, I used to have to have something inside of me to be able to dance and just not care. But now, you put music on, bro. We're going to the boogie woogie. Yeah, doing some Saturday Night Fever type of dancing. But nah, but yeah, like I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when I don't have the answer. If I don't have the answer, you'll probably just be like, and see me on my phone, and I'll look it up, and that's the best answer I can give you. Whatever Google tells me. Is it 100%? 9 times out of 10, probably not. But I go from there, and then go to somebody else that does have the answer.
Alright, for our final, thank you everyone that gave their question. We're gonna get out of here after this for the because of this weather. And for our last question, everyone can just give a small response. Everyone, I mean, even down to the crew. For everybody out there, including you, the viewers, is your confidence just a loud mask for your insecurity? I'm going to read that again. Is your confidence just a loud mask for your insecurity? You know, like, is it? Anyone? No?
So when I used to be cocky, it was me putting a mask on my insecurity. You know, like I just shared about being insecure. What was it? A couple of days ago in group, or last week rather. I shared one of my insecurities being big. You know what I'm saying? But then I gotta remember. Like, I'm Italian, so I gotta think about the Italian people. You know what I'm saying? Al Capone, you got Bugsy, you got all them. And Tony Soprano, as my guy over here, Dre said, you know, like, they were big, but they had, people loved them. I mean, some people were afraid of them, but the people that was in their circle did have love for them. You know what I'm saying? And they were confident on who they were, no matter how big they were, no matter whatever they were going through.
Yeah.
So I'm on a good path, being Italian and got a gut, you know what I'm saying? So I should still love myself no matter what my stomach looks like, what I look like, because at the end of the day, I'm a loving, caring person.
And I want to talk this. If you wanted to change, you know what I'm saying? If you, that's your choice. I can't make you do that. Nobody can make you do that. And anyone that tries to make you do that, they are wearing a mask of their own insecurities. So, but I heard somebody else saying they was gonna answer. Yeah, we'll take one more and then.
It started off when I was in elementary school. I had to be confident because I did not know as much as everybody else my age, so I had to wear it like armor. And you know how it starts. It always starts off like, oh, that one time, just for that one particular time, and then it just goes on for the rest of your life. But it's okay to let down that mask, because sometimes it's not that bad to be insecure. Like, sometimes being insecure shows you just how strong you actually are to have survived what you went through. And that's all I got.
So, to all the viewers and all those in acceptance of themselves, even those in denial, just know that you're loved and that we pray for you to survive the fire and be able to tell your testimony. If you're not already halfway there at the end, if you're not even if you're at the beginning, you know, definitely if you're at the beginning stage of walking through that door, we're praying for you the most because I hope you step in. Look at my face. I hope that you step in the fire because fire purifies the soul. Fire purifies the mind. Because do you care about yourself, kid? Yeah.